down barn builds. We're gonna build them, we're gonna boost them, and we're gonna burn some rubber, baby. Woo! Yeah! All right, American Metal Direct has absolutely hooked us up with some new floor pans. This is awesome. This is exactly what we need to get this floor fixed because it's got more holes than a Swiss cheese. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna set these down because they're super heavy. We're going to cut out what we do not need. Before we install the floor pans, we gotta clean up this area. We gotta cut out what is gone, what is rusted, what we do not need. So I'm gonna take the grinder, we're gonna cut out about this far, all around here, around these edges, get up to this. I don't think we're gonna need to go any further than this line right here. So we'll cut all this out and then go from there. Let's get to it. Okay, so I've gone along and just cut right along the edge of where it's all rusted. And now I'm gonna come out with the big grinder and cut out majority of what we don't want, what we don't need. Where we can fit in a nice piece that is square, straight edged, perfect fit. Because right now this is so squirrely, it just would be such a butt to patch. So going in there, doing some straight cuts, getting all this knocked out, and then it'll make it a lot easier when we try to put it in the patch. Let's get to it. Oh yeah, she's gone. Woo! Sorry. My ears are ringing. I probably should have put in some earplugs, but dude, we gotta move forward. We ain't got time for earplugs. Okay, so I got pretty much most of it all cut out. This isn't good, that's gonna have to be fixed, but we can fix that from below. Got a couple corners here to clean up. I thought this was a patch. Turns out it is not a patch. Good thing I didn't cut through it, so clean this up a little bit more, get these edges all ground down and nice and clean, and then we'll be ready to put in the new. Hell yeah. Battery died. Frick! Okay, so as I wait for my batteries to charge to finish up that side, I'm marking this side out. And then this leather piece right here is just, I was trying to mark where I need to cut and this leather was out of the way, or in the way, so I pulled it and look at this. It's gonzo. This needs to come out, brother. Almost, oh shit. There it is. There we go. I honestly think that this is just completely saturated with who knows what, because this cab reeks and I don't know what else could be stinking it up, because this is the only thing that is able to saturate stuff. It just stinks like total butt, I tell you. Oh yeah. Here we go. We're gonna cut out this side. This side is probably 25% worse than the last side. I did all the calculations and it is definitely 25% worse. So we're gonna cut this out and go from there. Let's get to it. There we go. Come on, you coward. Get out of there. Go on, get. Just cut it. Nah, I like the struggle. Okay, so far we've cut out this section here and then this little section here. Got to cut up there. This side is a lot worse than the other side. This second layer here is completely rusted out and the other side is unscathed. So get that piece cut out and then see what we're working with underneath. Oh yeah, well, piece there. Oh yeah, oh my gosh, look at this. Holy moly. Yikes. Okay, so we got the floor all ready and prepped for the new floor. Couple things take away. I cut this out, but we're gonna try to utilize this to work because making that corner is gonna be really tough. So we're gonna try to weld that back in. Another hard thing that we're gonna have to do is make this cab corner here. I think we're gonna end up doing 3 separate pieces here. One here, one on the side, and then this piece. Like I said, it's not gonna be a show truck, so getting in here might be a little difficult, but we're gonna do the best we can and make it happen. Cut this new floor up. This is the only side we need right here. I taped it, so in between the tape is the line we're gonna cut. Good technique I like to use. So we just cut that off, moment of truth, let's see how it fits. Come on in. Come on into my cab. Okay. Problem is this cable up there is interfering with the fitment. So it's not bad fitment, that's for sure. Just, you can see where this line is lining up. Just that dang cable. So that's good. That, you know, you just do a little at a time and before you know it, you're done. Now that is money. Look how nice that looks. That's straight from the factory. Good thing about this is you will never see it. So spent a lot of time making that look clean, but you'll probably never see it. But maybe one day somebody will get up there and be like, dang, looks pretty good. Okay, so we got the piece in there and that is money. Around these edges here, good. I gotta cut this corner off right here and then we'll be good, and then I gotta shape all this into place. But so far, so good. All right, I just set this in here and this is perfect, dude. This right here lines up right in line with that. All these corners fitting pretty good. Got this angle here. That is money, dude. Awesome stuff. So do a little bit more tinkering with that and it'll be ready to tack in. Hey, get out of there. Don't get in the Terminator. Get out. Toast. Get down. Yeah. Okay, so we got this in, and I got a little bit of a predicament here. I don't know what is going on, but if I line this up right here, then this one is not in line. I'm just gonna hold off for a little bit on this and move on to this cab corner. Okay, so since I'm taking a break from this and moving on to this cab corner, what I did was I used this piece of cardboard on the other side of the cab, which has a good cab corner, and got my radius here. So this will fit perfectly right there. Now I can use this to cut this into a piece of metal that will fit right in there. I have to make this one, then I have to make this one, then I have to make that one, and then I gotta clean that up and fill that in. So, a little bit more work, but I think we can take care of it. Let's get it. What's funny is we have all these workbenches in here, and I decide to keep doing this on the floor. I don't know, whatever. Work harder, not smarter, is that the saying? Work harder, not smarter? If you can tell here, you can see my mark, and this is exaggerated, but this is what we're starting out with, and then we're gonna put this on the truck and just slowly work our way to what we need. So that probably took me about 30 to 40 minutes to make this individual piece. You can tell, if you look down here, this is how much I ended up using from that whole entire triangle there, but go over here, and it goes right in. Check that out. I bend it over, cut it, so this will all get welded, and then you won't even see any of this because it'll get welded and grinded down. Now I gotta make this piece, and that piece. Okay, so after many hours of cutting and grinding, I have created many different pieces of floor that will fill in all these areas that I have cut out, such as this cab corner here, this piece, all this, and around here. Before we do that though, we have to go in with all these two products. This is primer weld. You spray this before you weld so it doesn't rust. And then this, which is a great product, chassis saver. This is almost like a rubberized paint. You lay this down and this will prevent any future rust. So I have areas in here that we won't be able to get to, such as down here underneath the floor, right here in these cab corners, and some other various locations that we want to prevent any more rust from growing. So this is what we're going to install. This should help a lot, and it's something I highly recommend. We've used it in the past and it works great. So let's get to it. Okay, so now that we have all this primed and ready for weld, the first step we're going to do is drill this out so we can screw this in. And then, before we screw it, we're going to actually glue it. So it's going to be glue it, tack it, screw it. So we got to drill this out, glue it, and then tack it. And then it'll be finally ready to be fully welded in and good to go. Okay, we got all these holes drilled, and what that will do is we'll be able to use that to screw it in, and then after it's all tacked in, we will pull those screws out and fill in those holes with weld, and that will actually hold the floor pin. So the screws are just temporary.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and glue this in, just this seam here. I believe that's how it was done from the factory. That's just to seal it up from the weather, whatever. And then as we go through here, we're gonna be welding that in, but for now we'll get this glue down and we'll start working that direction.
Nice.
We're only gonna go halfway right now.
Good technique.
I think more is better.
More is always better.
All right.
So we'll take that panel and set it in there and be ready to tack it in. Pressure's on.
I'm gonna set this. We're actually gonna start welding it first, but we can't glue it later, so we have to get the glue in there, so hopefully it doesn't dry too quick.
Remember, now you've entered the world of welders, so make sure it's the best welds.
Yeah, right. Okay, your turn.
Yay! Whoa!
A little bit longer. No, closer. You gotta move. You can't keep going the same place. Go down to the next weld. There you go.
Oh yeah. Practically a professional welder now. I stack 3 dimes. I'm rich. Stacking dimes and doing crime, I think. Check that out. Practically a master welder. Hell yeah. First time ever. Never done it in my life. So you just did a lot more welding there. Check it out. Looks pretty good. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your welds?
6.
6?
Yeah.
say 11.
Yeah, I think Stevie Wonder could weld better with his feet.
Well, he's dead.
No, he's not.
So we're about 1 million hours in on this, and this is where we got. This is where I've grinded it down. This still needs finished up. Still gotta do this. We're getting there, but this is the longest process ever. It is taking very long. This metal is so thin that when you weld, it just goes through, change the settings on the welder, and it's still hard. I've never welded before. This is my first time, so cut me some slack. We're trying to get there. You're never gonna see any of this, but it is sure a lot of work. That is for sure.
Let's see what bro's doing here.
What's up?
Still welding? Let me see these things.
Yeah, you like that? Yeah, you like that?
You'd have to pay me hourly to weld for me.
You'd have to pay me hourly for me to weld.
You'd have to pay me to weld for me with those.
Oh, dude, come on, man. I took a class. It was an online course. You use your mouse, but
0 GPA too.
oh wait, oh.
Oh, yep. Yeah.
I'm getting there. It's a learning curve, but my professor online said I'll be a master welder in 3 days.
Put the course in the bag, dude.
Come on. Okay, so we just finished welding this last seam in. So the last thing I have to do before this is all put together is weld this inside piece in here. And then we should be good to go. Grind it down a little bit more, and it'll be ready for chassis saver. So the piece is all sanded down. I believe it's gonna fit, so let's see. Oh, come on, lady. A few moments later. Yep. It's gonna be a little difficult to weld, but it fits very well. If I could get it in there. Pretty much like that. It's gonna be flush, but you know the deal. Before I weld this in, you can just see the fitment here. It's very good fitment, so tack this in, weld it in, should be good to go. Oh yeah. We just finished up all the welding on the driver's side. Take a look, tell me what you think. Here it is. I know these welds aren't great. I am gonna get so much backlash for this, but it is all welded up. I just gotta grind it down. Here's that piece. That's probably the best weld right there. That weld, ow, still hot, is the best weld that I've done. This right here didn't turn out too bad. This was a lot of work. Learned a lot, so glad to finally be done with this side. We'll grind this down, which is a piece of cake, and then we're gonna put that chassis saver on there, and this is gonna look money, dude. Just remember, none of this is gonna be seen. It's all gonna be covered up by the chassis saver and then the carpet and the threshold. So, not a big deal. I mean, if you wanna tear it apart, ridicule me, go ahead. But for the first time, it is what it is, brother. Okay, moving over to the other side now. I picked up some steel here. I got this angle iron right here. It's 5/8 thick, and then a piece of 3/8 1 inch wide steel right there. This side is a little bit different than the other side because this whole section right here was completely rusted out, and so the other side had about an inch overhang here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this down to length here. Let me zoom this out so you can see better. Okay, so I'm gonna cut this. I'm gonna take this and I'm gonna cut it down, and it's gonna sit right in here. Absolutely perfect. It's gonna end right there on the where it goes up, kind of where my thumb is. And that will give us something to weld to. I need to primer this. I'm just gonna put a patch over that giant hole right there. We put some chassis saver in there, as you can tell by the dripping. But this, I think, is gonna work perfect. So I got that quarter, or pretty much angle iron, all primed up. It's drying right now. This is cut and ready to go. It's looking good so far. You can tell right here, it's just such a tight edge right there. Having that little piece of angle iron will help a lot. So we'll get that tacked in. Well, actually, I think I gotta put that piece in right there. Then we can start moving forward on this. So let's get to it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's finally time to start welding in. You might not know, or you might notice that I don't have my helmet on. That's because I'm gonna use my safety squints. They're free. Got everything primed. Got everything grinded, so time to just tack this in, and then we'll put the mask on and get down to welding. You know me, I'm an experienced welder. I've welded many times in the last few weeks. All right, let's knock this out. Starting off a lot stronger than we did over there on the other side, that's for sure. That's good. So far, so good. All this is going to be grinded down and then painted with some chassis saver, so not too bad. Actually, these welds under here, take a look at that. That might be the best welds I've ever had. And I did those from above here, not looking at it. So maybe I just need to keep my eyes closed and my welds will be a lot better. Anyway, on to the next thing. Hey, before I get underneath the truck to weld that piece in over there that we just welded in, I might as well tack this in, and then I can get underneath and weld it in while I'm down there. So, killing two birds with one stone, you know. No gloves on, just completely raw dogging it here. If I get burned, I get burned. So that's tacked in. That will help when we get the floor pan in. This piece right here, have something to support it. That is money. Heck yeah. I'll probably cut that little piece off right there, but might as well leave it alone, because you can always cut it, but you can't add it back. So we're moving forward with the floor on the passenger side. And I was going to put the floor pan in and then realized we had a lot of rust going on the sidewall here. So got a piece made here. Gonna tack that in, get that welded in, and then we can finally move forward with the floor pan. Oh yeah. Okay, so we got this piece completely welded in, this piece about halfway welded in. Got this new support here. It's all primed and welded. So we're good there, ain't gonna rust. Next step is to be able to get this floor pan finally in. We're gonna get it tacked in, and then we'll adjust it a little bit, and then we'll get it welded in for the final location of it. So let's get to it. Okay, you can see here I got it somewhat tacked in. Kind of leaving it loose on this end because we got to work with this edge right here, but now we can start getting these welds put in and start forming this metal right here at the end, and hopefully we can get this knocked down and be done with this today. Let's get to it. All right, so we've been thrashing at this, and I just want to show all this is buttoned up. The only thing I have left is this corner and this. And what I wanted to show on this was, this is actually turning out pretty good. So there she is right now. And if I can find the dang piece I had before. Oh, right here. This was the old piece. And if you look, there's that bend and there's my bend. So I just gotta fill that in, I welded this seam first and then cut this after I had bent it a little bit, and I'm gonna make this a straight edge right there and then fill that in with a piece, and it's gonna look money, dude. Fill that in. We're gonna look factory. We're gonna look bone stock. I am actually pumped about this. I did a little bit of an angle there, cut that flat. That looks so good. That is awesome. That is so good. As we wait for the primer to dry for this piece, I was taking a look at this, and this is gonna look awesome, dude. We got this mocked up, ready to go. I made this a few weeks ago. This floor, you can see this huge gap here, but I'm thinking once I get this in, we may have a little gap there, but we got seam sealer that'll go underneath here. All this will get welded in. I might just have to fill that gap in. I mean, I filled that gap in up there, and for not welding for very long, I'm actually pretty proud of those welds. So if you hate them, well, sorry, brother, but best I can do for you. So hopefully this works and get that welded in, and we'll be rocking and rolling. And we got that and this, and man, it is coming together. This side is taking a quarter of the time the other side took. So let's get this in and see how she looks. Okay, time to weld this in. Got it all primed. Got that started over there, looking pretty good, not too bad. And then we'll knock that out. So finally ready to get that in. Let's get it in. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the floor is finally done. Thank God. This has taken so much longer than I anticipated. I cannot believe it, but check this out. It turned out great. As you can tell, this isn't professional. This is my first time welding, so do not judge the welds, but it is definitely better than it was. And this side definitely turned out better than the other side. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for another episode of Brown Barn Builds. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned. We got a lot more happening with this truck. We got a lot more happening around this shop. So stay tuned for another episode of Brown Barn Builds. We'll catch you next time. Have a good night.